Hey guys, and welcome to the first official season 4 episode of Picture This movie reviews,
Film reviews, Dan. Film
film
reviews.
reviews. Oh my
You
gosh.
pick the name.
Oh my gosh, it's been such a long time. I'm just seeing if people in the audience are still aware and awake. Really glad to be back with you. I'm Dan.
And I am Matt.
And if you stuck out with us for the first 3 seasons and then that long hiatus of the past few months, um, you know what we do. We like to come together, we like to chat movies. We've changed our film format a little bit, or what we'll be recording. Matt talked about that a little bit in the last or the welcome back episode, so I'm not going to rehash all of that here. But what brings us together today is probably one of the most anticipated films of this year thus far, and that is James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So, really interested to get into your thoughts on this, Matt. I know I have some, but I'm going to kick it off to you for the first review and see what you have to say.
Sure. It's great to be back. Um, so initial thoughts, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Um, I'm not the world's biggest Guardians fan. I thought the first two movies were good. They just didn't win me over the way they won over a lot of people. And I don't know why that is. Um, I really don't. I wish I had a reason. But I didn't dislike them. So I went into this because I was invited to go see it. Honestly, if I hadn't been, I probably still wouldn't have watched it at this point, with shame on me. Um, but I went into the theater, and let me tell you, this movie was absolutely fantastic. Um, I don't think I've cried so many times during one movie as I did this movie. That I seriously cried probably 7 different times. Um, it's easily the best Marvel film since No Way Home, in my opinion. Um, it's I felt it felt so perfect. Um, the humor was there. All the characters get great screen time. You don't feel like any one character is kind of left out. At mild spoilers, they do a lot with the character of Rocket, and they kind of give you a background on him. That whole flash, every time there was a flashback, that's what tore me up. Like every time there was a flashback, because of the nature of it, I was just bawling, and but it pulled at my heartstrings, and I tell you, I couldn't believe that I wasn't going to go see it. I was really kicking myself, but grateful that I did, because I think as of this moment, I think it's the movie of the year. Whether that stays, I don't know, but I think it's for me. It was phenomenal. What about you, Dan?
I mean, I'm right there with you. Overall, one of my favorite Marvel films, if not pretty darn close to like my favorite Marvel film. A little different with you or than you in the fact that I did love the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Like, instantly fell in love. How it was funny, quirky, a lot of action packed into it. I mean, who can beat Drax standing in the middle or eating a bag of chips while he's watching, eating a conversation or listening to a conversation? Um, Overall, I think that the film did a great job, like you said, with the flashbacks into Rocket, and also building up the High Evolutionary as the villain in this film, and that's what really drove a lot of this, his search
Uh,
for the perfect race, the creation of the perfect race, and the moment where he's talking to Rocket. Rocket's talking to his friends. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna go down to the new Earth that he's created." He's like, "No, you're just pretty much saying you're a step in the process. That you're not going to get to live in my paradise or whatever I've created. I've just used you as a stepping stone to get there." And just that moment of realization, and then watching his little buddies that he has, the ones that were so aptly named, was it Teefs and shoot,
Easton,
Lila.
Was it Lila or Lily? Lila,
Start with an L. And then
something.
we had, what was the rabbit? Floor. or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But it was that all those parts were really cute, and they made you love these characters because of how they took care of him, and then they took them right away from you.
Ugh.
I thought it was great to see Nowhere, the big giant skull planet that Quill and the folks, the Guardians of the Galaxy started on as their HQ, turned into a giant fortress slash spaceship weapon in the final moments. That was freaking awesome. Um, and then a couple moments that kind of caught me by surprise. One where the High Evolutionaries planet that he built basically is like, it's not good enough. Hits the button, destroys the planet. A genocide of a whole race of creatures just in front of your eyes, almost like Star Wars esque, in my opinion. And then you end up going back to at the end where we have all these kids and animals and all these people he was experimenting on that get set free, and which ultimately leads us to, again, we freaking spoil the heck out of this movie, so if you're here not for spoilers, you came to the wrong place. But as far as at the end of the movie, doing a really good job. A lot of folks, myself and my wife Kayla included, thought that there was going to be at least one death. Starting off, we knew Dave Batista was, leaving the franchise, so we thought, okay, this would be an easy way to kill him off. All the flashbacks with Rocket, how they built that up, we started thinking, oh no, they're gonna kill Rocket instead, and they came very close with him, but they ended up pulling him back from the end. But in the end, I mean, they gave these guys all an incredible happy ending, but also opened up the door for a whole new generation where we might not see these Guardians of the Galaxy, but that the team will be reinvented into the future. And definitely excited to see how they took that. I know in the end credits they had put a little bit about that, so super excited. But I mean, let's keep this going, Matt. Did I say anything? Because I know when we start
Yeah.
talking about reviews, we might start triggering some things. So what do you have?
Yeah. The High Evolutionary, I wanted to say, I totally forgot to mention him. He was fantastic. Probably one of the best Marvel villains of all 20 plus Marvel movies, I think. I mean, I'd almost right. He felt so evil. Like, and I don't know if it's because of what he was doing with the animals and the children, or I don't know, but something about him, I I really hated him. Like I felt like he did his job well. Like Thanos, I don't think had anything on this guy. Like, and Thanos might have been bigger and more powerful and had the snap, but I mean, this guy,
Even he at the core of it didn't necessarily do it to be evil.
right? He was. I mean, his messed up reasons were wrong, but he did it for reasons, and this just felt. This guy just was. I can't even explain it. He was just so bad, and the actor whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce, out of respect for him, maybe I'll throw it up on the screen, just to give him credit there. But he was phenomenal. He did a fantastic job. Like I would welcome him back as a villain again in a sequel or in another Marvel film. Um, I just wanted to, as much as I hated him, I wanted to see more of him. Like every time he was on screen, I was captivated. You hinted on the rocket stuff and all the characters dying. I just knew somebody was going to die, like you said. I just knew somebody. I didn't know who. And then when I was like, oh, this is about Rocket. Oh no, they're going to make Rocket die. And then when he's on the table, and then when he flatlines, and I'm like, they're really going to do it. And that was probably like that was like the seventh time that I had cried. That was like one of the last times that I cried. And I started to tear up and I was like, oh no, they're killing Rocket. Because, like I said in the beginning, Guardians hasn't been I'm more of like, I've been more of an Iron Man, Spider Man. Like, that's been more my thing. I don't dislike Guardians. They just didn't like grab me, really hard like it did some people. But out of all of them, I've always dug the Rocket character, which I think a lot of people do. Um, and I was like, they're really gonna kill Rocket, and thank God they didn't. I thought they ended it perfect. I thought it was a perfect ending to the trilogy. I thought it wrapped up everybody's character arc nicely. I mean, we'll see what the future brings. But if they never made another movie with these characters, I'd be okay. I think it was perfect.
Well, I think we know for a fact that we will be seeing Quinn come back, Peter or Quill. Sorry,
Mm,
jeez, Peter
yeah,
Quill come back, as it did say, like the return of Star Lord at the end. And I thought it was kind of neat. We are watching some commentary from the filmmakers toward the end, where just one more thing to throw in, where Groot comes in at the end, and he's like, "I love you guys," and they wanted to say it's not that he's learned to speak like everybody else. It's because at this point in the volumes, you have now become, as a viewer, a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy family. And because of that, you can now understand what Groot says. And I thought that was really well done, and definitely, it's like any of these
is
movies, you're going like years.
is that what it was meant to be?
Yes. Yep.
I love it so much more now.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
It's crazy that you go into movies like these, and like you said, Iron Man kicked it off for this, the iteration of the Marvel universe. But you watch these movies for years and you grow attached to characters. And I mean, we did the same with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And again, just to watch, Peter goes off and reunites with his grandfather that he was taken away from. He's still alive on Earth. I know that was a shocker for him. You had Drax that ends up going off with his family, or his new family of orphan children, and that he had lost his wife and child before all of this. And even Nebula, gets a happy ending. But the one thing I'm glad they did not push was a reunion or the relationship between Star Lord and Gamora.
Yeah,
And it felt like it petered off naturally, and I think that they wrapped that up real nice. It didn't force the two back together, and Hollywood likes to make that happen between leading ladies and men, and it didn't have a place here, and I'm glad they didn't play on that. It's very well done.
I agree. Um, I mean, I guess final thoughts. I think it's one of, like I said in the beginning, I think it's one of Marvel's better movies to come out in years. Definitely since No Way Home, which I thought at the time was one of its best movies. Um, and I think it was a fitting farewell to these characters that everyone has come to love. And it was kind of the shot in the arm that Marvel needed. Because if we're going to be honest, Marvel isn't what Marvel once was, in my opinion. It might just be me, but I think a lot of people, you see online the term Marvel fatigue. I think that is a thing because they're spitting out these movies, 3 or 4 a year at one point, it seemed. And I think it was just a lot. And you can only go so many before someone's like, okay, I've seen this. I know what we're doing. I don't care anymore. I think it was kind of getting to that point. But this Guardians proved that it can still be good. You can still release a fantastic Marvel movie with the right writing and storytelling. And I think a lot of that is credit to James Gunn. And just to throw it out there, I am extremely excited to see what he does with the DC universe now that he's in charge of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Any final thoughts, Dan?
Um, I guess we're getting on to the rating section.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it right out there. 5 stars out of 5 stars for me. Must watch if you are into Marvel. If you started suffering from the Marvel fatigue, like Matt said, go out and watch this one if you haven't. I might actually buy this one when it comes out. Loved it that much, and I could definitely picture myself watching this again.
Very nice. I definitely pictured myself watching it as well. I'm really torn on this because I just got done singing its praises and it's calling it perfect and flawless. So that really means I should give it 5 stars, but I really want to give it 4.
Oof.
A 4 is not bad at all.
Well, if we go into percentile, we're going crazy with the ratings, guys. That puts it at about 90%.
Yeah. You know what? I just got done saying how great of a movie it was. I'm gonna go ahead and give it 5. I'll give it a 5 star. I think it deserves it. Um, what is your just curiosity and real quick? How would you rank the three Guardians movies?
Honestly, I think the first one I'd have probably about, yeah, I would have the first one as the highest rating for me. Just because it introduced the characters and I thought it was just so well done. It was a lot more comical. Like this one had a lot more heavy hitting,
Drama.
weigh on your heart than that one for sure. But I would put this one as my number two, and then number two as my number three.
And see, I'm the exact way. And that's why I almost went 4 stars with this, because even though one didn't like make me a super big Guardians fan, I still thought one was a 5 star. I still thought one was fantastic. So that's why I was kind of torn, but I would rate them the same way: 1, 3, 2. I
And
think.
I have a special guest in the shadows is communicating to me telepathically and through booze that you might not be able to hear. But the third member of Picture This that's not in on this season, at least not yet as a guest, maybe some point, would rank this as a 1, 2, 3. They just want us to know it.
Really?
The order that it came out, literally that would be what she would pick.
That's interesting. See, I'm gonna miss her. I know she can hear me. I'm gonna miss her opinion and like the difference, because I told you, Dan, when we talked about reviving this back up, that you and I are almost always in agreement, and I like that she made things different.
Well, you remember that she started as the girl in the back.
Right.
I was like,
She was the girl in the chair.
yeah, the girl in the
she,
chair.
she was like Ned in Spider-Man. But yeah, no. And no, but that's a solid, and that's a solid choosing 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either. For me, 3 is over 2 just a little bit, but that's what every movies are objective, subjective, objective. I don't know how to
I think
use
it
the right
works
word.
both ways.
So that's what's great about it. And we welcome Miss Kayla back anytime she wants to guest. And, we hope to see her soon.
We haven't decided. She wants to know what our next movie is.
That's a good, that's a good conversation starter. And I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, yeah. We're just going into this blind this time. Where we did a wheel before. We don't know if we're bringing that back.
Yeah.
We're going at it full.
Yeah. I think we're at least Dan and I and Kayla will probably discuss off the record, but on the record, as far as the viewers go, we probably, unless it's like a big event movie like The Flash or Guardians or something big, maybe Indiana Jones.
Oh, Barbie.
Barbie. Okay, you have to drag me to the theater on that one.
We'll pay for your ticket or something.
But if it's a big movie, new release, we'll probably announce, hey, stay tuned, we're going to do this next week or whatever. But other than that, I think we're just gonna kind of you wait and see. Like we'll know, because obviously we're gonna have to record it and talk about it. But I think as far as the viewers go, just wait and see. Like we're gonna do something different. If it's a slow week where there's nothing brand new coming out to talk about, that's when we'll probably do either an older film or something different, like Dan was saying in the beginning, something like talking about news on a new movie such as Beetlejuice 2, which I can't believe is actually finally happening.
Yeah, we've definitely got to do an episode on that soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, we want to talk about it and get the news out. We want to talk all rumors Beetlejuice for sure.
Yeah. Maybe that's the next video, but we'll see.
Robert Redford videos would be another option because apparently
you
love that.
Apparently, you guys are on that Redford stuff.
The Great Gatsby.
Oh, the OG Great Gatsby. That would be.
There.
Yeah. I haven't watched that since I was in high school.
We should almost do like a side by side comparison on those two, because I remember the newer one so much. That's why I'm saying, like, they're so different, and they're so different to the book.
Yeah, that's true.
So it would just be weird to think.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We're gonna come up with something just amazing. And for the 4 people that watch this video, or 2 or 1 or
Hey,
whoever,
now.
nobody, I mean, we appreciate you just, hanging out with us this long. Obviously we'll get back in a routine. I'm gonna dress up my background a little bit at some point, and we'll make it
Dress up your
we'll make it
background.
awesome. Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to just tune in to find out what that means.
All right, guys. We promised we were going to keep them shorter, so we're just going to go ahead and end it here. But we thank you for joining us. We love you so much. And unless Dan's got anything else, everybody have a great week and love one another.
See you guys.
Picture This Film Reviews is a podcast hosted by Dan Lane and Matthew Winstead. Edited by and executive producer Matthew Winstead. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Picture This Film Reviews. And of course, you're watching at youtube.com/Picture This Film Reviews.